subscribe and follow the Twitch.
Now!
Hey. No. Back for more. People liked the first video. I'm glad. That took forever to make. And you know, I've always said I'm a man of the people. I may be a dictator, but I still may be a man of the people. So, whatever the people want, the people get. This time, I mean, bro, tier 1 was already, it was wild enough, okay? I can't even imagine what the hell the later tiers are going to look like, but... You saying something?
No, I wasn't saying anything, Master.
Yeah. Now, usually how Iceberg video goes is that people research the topics beforehand and they just come in and they present to you the information. I don't do that. I like to learn as I'm making the damn video, so I'm usually pretty innocent by the beginning of it, and then by the end, it you know, you can usually just see the progression and the happiness slowly wear down off my face like a kid going downstairs and opening his present to only Cole on Christmas morning. Ain't that right? I'm not talking to anybody, I know. But y'all see the first entry. Just play tier 2 across the screen, bro. Poop scissors. Like, what could that mean? What is it? Okay, so this story comes from... You know what? Admittedly, when we have to deal with Colby and 2 broken arms in tier 1, this one ain't even that bad, honestly. This one comes from a post 3 years ago. Saturday, February 19th, 2022, on r/true off my chest by Demon Slayer 007. You've all heard of the poop knife. No. I haven't heard about that. Is that like is this what's going on Reddit? Motherfuckers just like spreading stories like, oh, you've heard about the poop knife. That was like simple shit. What? Let me tell you my story of my family's poop scissors. Oh god. So this guy literally posted this on his birthday. He was really cooking up in his noodle for this one, thinking of something to post all day, and he starts it off by saying, background, I personally have only seen the poop scissors once, as my family does not have too much interaction with this side of the family all that often. So this is like an ancient relic. I mean, this is what legends are made of. This is the fountain of youth for this guy's family. So this guy has an aunt that he calls Daisy in this story. Basically, she went through a hard divorce and was just super depressed from what it looks like after losing her husband. She then came to live with this guy's family and was very close with his mom, obviously. That's her sister. Come on, guys. I know how families work. And was starting to just cheer up a little bit. Now, Daisy had a connection with this side of the family that our original poster hadn't really met before. And when you grow up around that family, up comes the inside jokes, I guess. And one of them happens to be, unfortunately, poop scissors. I hate saying it. Like, I don't like this one. I don't like this one.
Hey man, shut your bitch ass up.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, that's damn right. You shut your ass up.
A few weeks after living with us, my mom was taking a little longer in the bathroom than usual. So my aunt walked up to the door and shouted, "Do you need the scissors?" And my mom just started dying laughing. Me being 8 and also being unaccustomed to the sound of that much laughter in the house, I just thought it was a funny thing to say. It wasn't until several months later when I said something similar to my friend at a sleepover that I found out the joke doesn't make much sense to anyone, really. Or even me, for that matter. Can you imagine not even get... Oh my god, bro. These be the worst type of people. The people that don't even get the joke and they just be spreading it? Bro, if I'm in the bathroom and I'm chilling with my mans and like, I hear a motherfucker from outside, "You need the scissors?" Bro, you know what I'm coming out the bathroom like? Oh, shit! Oh, come here! You better not bring up the fucking scissors again. That shit ain't funny.
Hey, don't get mad at me when you need them damn scissors, boy.
What'd you say? So now that this man's been spreading the joke that he doesn't even get, he decided to ask what it meant. I was unprepared for the answer I received. Daisy told me that their old grandparents, my great-grandparents, were a bit stuck in their weird ways since they were first-generation Polish immigrants. One of those ways involved what she described as these old rusty shears that she kept in the bathroom for chopping a turd off midway through a poop in order to lessen the load on the plumbing and prevent clogging. So whenever they would visit their grandparents and took too long in the bathroom, they would be asked to make sure to cut the turds off with the scissors midway through, or there would be quote-unquote hell to pay. What type of shits are these people taking? Bro, can you even imagine what this process looks like, though? Like, bro, they are sitting down and they're doing a full reach around. Mid through. This is fucking disgusting. The story continues. This is when I actually found the scissors for the first time and started deep-throating the scissors and licking them as... Nah, he doesn't even say that, I'm tripping. The story doesn't quite end there though, as I found out the scissors are apparently a weird family heirloom as they were passed down to my great-grandma, my lord. We visited her apartment in Chicago one time and there they fucking were. Exactly as described, hanging on a hook next to the toilet and a towel hook. Absolutely stunned, I couldn't believe they were real, so I asked if those were the poop scissors. It was confirmed by Daisy they were the exact same scissors, and even she was a little shocked. This is just absolutely haram. I mean, I gotta respect the original poster for being in the normal in here and being like, you know what? At least it's not my tradition. But even he says, one day the poop scissors might be mine, and that scares me. Bro, please replace the scissors. This shit got like BC shit on it. Literally. How many generations do y'all think this made this through? This is... You know what? I gotta be grateful. It ain't no Colby. It ain't no Two Broken Arms. If you watch the first video, you know what I mean. This is just still absolutely haram. I'm never associating with that side of the family. Like, I don't give a fuck. No. No, you can't come to the family dinner. No, you're not invited to my funeral. No! No! It's just like, how is that the solution, bro? Like, at least, bro, at least repair the scissors. At least! My God, but you know what? I gotta be grateful. It's still a slightly lighter one than what we had to deal with, so not as bad as it could have been. Now, the second one on this list is Jolly Rancher. What the fuck? Y'all, I miss poop scissors so much, yo. I don't know what's wrong with this tier. I don't know if this is just a tier for like nasty shit, but this is disgusting. I miss who I was before I knew about this. And you know what? I knew about this one a while ago, but I didn't fully read it. And now that I fully read it, it's worse than I remember. It's bad. It's bad. Y'all, this story is damn near older than me. Wait, how old is Reddit? Like, why is this story so old, y'all? This comes from r/ask Reddit on a post Wednesday, October 21st, 2009? I wasn't even alive! Almost. Now, the original shit is just fucking deleted. I don't even blame him after getting replied to this, but the original dude deleted his account, deleted the post. It's gone. It's gone. Don't even know what it said. And then we get a comment from u/rival the creator. Nothing tops the Jolly Rancher story. Steve and his girlfriend Samantha went off to college in August. She went to Florida State, he went to Penn, so she decides to fly to Pennsylvania to visit him. He was really happy to see her, and so he decided to give her some oral action, you know, as we all do. Jeez, I'm too old for this. So, you know, they're getting their little freaky time on. He says, you know, fuck it, it's been so long, let me give you some nice cunnilingus, as the youth calls it. Well, he had done this numerous times before, and he always enjoyed doing it. But for some reason, this time, she smelled really horrible, and tasted even worse. And, you know, you'll see why I feel bad for the dude at the end of this story. But step one, sir, maybe when something smells like ass and tastes even, like, worse ass shit, don't keep going? Get your ass out of my house! That's how I'm doing it. He didn't want to offend her, though, because he hadn't seen her in months, so he put a Jolly Rancher in his mouth to cover it up, even though it didn't do much to help. Now, low-key, like, not even a bad idea. This shit sounds, like, revolutionary. I'm gonna have to try this one out. Like, this shit is just, it's peak. You get to enjoy 2 snacks at once? Who the fuck thought of this? Well, not in this case. I mean, you know, it's kind of like when something just smells like manure and you just spray Febreze. It only makes the situation worse. Like, I would have been like, girl, you gotta get the fuck out of here. In the course of eating her out, he accidentally pushed the candy inside of her and stuck a finger in to grab it out. He took it out and put it back in his mouth and bit. Only it wasn't the Jolly Rancher. Oh my God. It was a nodule of gonorrhea. Bro, I can't even like fathom this shit right now. Let me look up what that looks like. What is a nodule of gonorrhea? As in the blister-like structure that gonorrhea makes, filled with diseased pus, was the size of a fucking Jolly Rancher, and the poor guy bit it! I guess it really was dark in the room. He freaked out and started vomiting all over the place when it exploded in his mouth. Bro, like a weird mukbang. Like an old Joshua Block TikTok. He demanded to know what was going on. Turns out, she had cheated on him at a club like the first week of college. First week? Come on, bro. Like, you couldn't even... The first week? And bro, if I'm Steve here, I'm like, it wasn't even my gonorrhea nodule. Like, come on, this only gets worse. And fuck some random guy, and the stupid bitch had no clue what was wrong with her. She noticed a strange smell though. So now Steve is freaking out that he now has gonorrhea of the mouth, and God knows what else. It's a godless society we live in. It is. There's no saving us. I don't think Jesus died for these sins. I really don't. I don't believe that. I mean, this is the type of shit that, like, this will just turn you into a Buddhist monk, bro. This shit happens to me. I'm shaving my head bald and I'm moving to a mountain in the fucking Philippines, bro, and just... Because you can't even... Why does someone else know this? This isn't even Steve telling his story. So Steve had this happen to him and told someone about it. What are you doing? This is stuff you have to take to the grave, bro. You gotta take this to the grave. Wild life we live. Next on the fucking tier list, bro. Please be a little bit better. Oh my god. It's called the cum box / cum coconut. Roll the cool transition. The cum box / cum coconut.
Hey man, just sit your fat ass down.
Oh, shut your ass up! I've been telling you this. Ew. Always talking. Just be quiet.
Man, you don't even got a job, bro. I wouldn't beat your stupid little scrawny
Chill,
ass.
bro. Chill, bro. I really wish I could tell you guys that it gets better, but unfortunately, I'm coming to you and whispering in your ear like Andrew Card at an elementary school. This is... It literally only... You know what? I don't think it can get worse than this, though. So this is the most disgusting thing that we will have to look at in this tier. I hope. I don't know. But I'm praying. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This is a bad one. Like, this one has pictures, too. Because as if the other stories couldn't get worse, let's just throw some images in, right? Right. So this starts on, once again, Ask Reddit, which at this rate, we need to ban this. We need to ban Ask Reddit. 13 years ago, on Monday, April 30th, 2012, from user, oh gosh, where to begin? He says, throwaway time. What's your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out? No. Let me rephrase that. Throwaway time. What's your secret that could literally ruin likely Noah's life if it came out? Because reading this just makes him wanna... So there's a ton of interesting threads and comments that were posted under this post, but who the hell cares about these when you got this? From a now deleted user, he says, cousin died when we were both 17. There was a reception at his house just after the funeral. I went into his room and stole all the money that was there. Took some other valuables that his parents wouldn't realize were gone. No one knows that I did it. They just assumed he didn't have any money in his room. Only loose change. I don't regret it, but I will never admit I did it. Also, my cum box. What? Like, I know it's like comedically, purposefully put there, but I just hate how he tried to slip it in. Like, you can't just slip it in. No lube or nothing, bro. No Vaseline. He tried to just go full force. Now, user evil says, hey, elaborate on this cum box, please. Cum box? Cum box, please. He says, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a shoebox, or at least once was, and whenever I masturbate, I come into it. I've had it for 2 or 3 years now, I think. So it has a fair amount of cum. It smells atrocious. I've tried to burn it once. When I lit it on fire, it was too damp due to the cum that it simply sizzled and didn't manage to actually light up. Turns out burning cum smells awful. So I had to spray it with some deodorant body spray just to get the old smell of burnt cum away. It also has some drenched paper stuck to it. That's pretty much it. I mean, cum rags. The cum shoe box, like, you just went to Foot Locker and you said, this is it for the next 1,000 days. But do you know how much has happened in 3 years? And what's the point of lighting it on fire? I'm not understanding. Like, what science is this guy conducting? He's literally like the guy from Smiling Friends, bro. I'm scared that homunculus is about to jump out this bitch and come for me. Now that I'm talking about it, chill. Huh?
Oh, I ain't say none.
That's what I thought. Unfortunately, after this, he says, because people are asking, my greatest shame. And that is a link to, let me pull up the picture. This is so disgusting. Dude, what is that towards the bottom? It's like, oh, it's some of the burn marks, bro. You can actually see the burn marks. And, oh, it has this backrooms yellowish tint to it. It's fucking horrible. And just dollops, bro. Of like a magnitude of this is literally the entire human populace multiple times over. Sunken into it like Pompeii, bro. Oh my god. And you can see his aim's not even that great. I hate how there's one like super clean spot too. Like why is that spot immune? Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up, bro. Even if you did this, I feel like immediately after I did this, I'm going, wait, hold on, bro, what am I doing? And throwing it away immediately, effective immediately. It's an executive order. What? Why would you keep this? He comes back. Edit 2. A lot of people are asking me, why? Well, I'm apparently a rather disturbed individual, but it just kind of happened. Bought new shoes and needed some place to come. Used the box. Like, do you not have a toilet, bro? Do you not have tissues, rags, anything? Anything else? Anything else is better. Fuck it. The corner, bro. Like a real true gamer. It escalated from there, kept using it each time, telling myself I would throw it out soon. Never did. 2 or 3 years later, I still have it. It wasn't planned or anything, it just happened. I just can't believe, like, first of all, how did nobody find this shit? Second of all, how does the room, like, you said it smells like it's airing out the room, brother? It smells like ass in here. Edit 4. I often get private messaged about updates or current status of the box, generally a few a week, so I might as well update this post, if anyone even gets linked here anymore. I have created life. Mold has begun to grow in the box and has taken over a fair amount, and he hasn't thrown it away. He has... Smells a bit worse, mainly due to a damper apartment, so it does not dry as fast, hence the reason why the mold has begun. Before I even click this new picture, he literally says the viscosity of the moisture in the air in his apartment caused it to not dry as fast. So that means this man is in a new residence, signed a new lease, was packing, and transported this box just so he could keep it. Let me just pull up this other picture. Oh my fuck. Bro, the little mold dollops. No, I'm actually on the verge of gagging. I gotta chill, bro. Oh my fucking god. This is horrible. I don't even want to know what... Oh my god, it's just more yellow and more brown than before. And this is just rotting in his room. Like, he's breathing this shit in, bro. He's really a father. He's fathered. I really wonder if he still goes. There's no fucking shot he's going with this today. I will never be rid of my need for it. I hate and love the box, just as I hate and love myself. And he edits this, I don't even know how long ago. 2.7 million views. Bro, it is probably like 10 million now. I'm done. I'm not making no more videos like this. I'm done. I can't do it. It's too ridiculous, bro. It's too ridiculous. Literally every entry has been disgusting. Like, at least in the first tier, they were like mysteries or like, ooh. No, this is just nasty. It's just nasty. The guy comes back. I'm assuming you still do it. He says he uses it every time. I'm sorry for this whole, oh my god, I just clicked on a picture of it. I'm sorry about this whole fiasco, bro. I'm done making videos after this shit. Because it's just not even warranted anymore. Like, shit like this isn't acceptable. Next we have on the iceberg this, which hopefully this is a little bit more chill. No, I see an entry coming up called Swamps of Dagobah. That is about to be this. You know what? We'll get there. Next on the iceberg, tier 2, u/worthless319. I should have been practicing the past year, but I was in the darkest depression that exists, extremely suicidal day after day, having severely self-mutilated and failing to fulfill the requirements. Recently, I fulfilled the requirements. That is why we are hanging on the edge of a world war. I'm having trouble seeing the suchness and severe suffering from my self-mutilation, but I know I must overcome for humanity, even though there is no I to experience the suffering. It's like leaping off the edge of a cliff, knowing you will reach the bottom and it will hurt the whole way down, but you won't die. Quite the opposite, actually. It will invigorate you with life. I'm not sure how to make the leap, but I believe tomorrow is my day, given the universal sign of impeding chaos from the eclipse. This is Reddit user Worthless319, first post 8 years ago on Sunday, August 20th, 2017. And this guy has lost his fucking mind. Does North Korean leadership know what an eclipse is? Might they consider it an attack from the US? Now remember, this is a North Korean comment, because it actually does come into play later, even though it's kind of stupid. All these posts span from August 20th, 2017 to October 7th, 2017. In another post a little bit later, he posts, fear of suffering. Wow. Suffering. Hello? Fear of suffering / bringing an awareness into suffering on r/awakened. The innate truths behind the universe have been revealed to me. I have severely self-mutilated to near death in the past, and I was awful at dealing with the pain. I couldn't remotely bring a non-judgmental awareness into it. I've read Be Here Now, which, if you don't know, it's like a yoga, spiritual meditation book by American yogi and spiritual leader. Hey, what is a yogi? It's literally just a dude who does yoga. Jesus, okay. I've read Be Here Now about 25 times front to back. Near the end, it depicts Christ, and it says, this trip requires total suffering, but it's got to be suffering that is no suffering. It also says, you've got to go the whole suffering trip, but you can't be the guy who is suffering. I understand this means the physical body and ego will die, but how can one manage to suffer without suffering? I'm so caught up on this, I can't step over the line into the infinite. Now, if you can't tell by this alone, even if you don't know exactly the story yet, this guy is severely disturbed, and there is, just hundreds of posts, not posts, but like mainly comments about him wanting to suffer, and like how suffering is the bridge between him and God, and how God uses suffering, and all this nonsense. Basically, the guy is just wanting to die. Now, a little bit later on a post titled, What Makes Suffering a Spiritual Leader, he gives us a little bit more detail on the self-mutilation he's been mentioning, stating, I've self-mutilated to near death 3 times, yielding 3 surgeries for the self-mutilation. I have been in psychiatric wards involuntarily for over 3 months worth of time over 5 separate stays. Every time, I've never felt my core being present. It was all too real, and I get lost in the web of my ego. What the fuck? Why? Bro, I always wonder, like, how does this shit happen to people? Like, how do you get to this point, bro? It makes me realize I'm living a simple life, bro. I just want to get on the game and play some games. Like, chill, bro. What are we doing? This is when it starts getting, like, scary serious. So obviously, like, trigger warning, all that shit. But, like, if you survived the combox, you can survive this. Okay, listen. How to proceed when you only seem to fail. Greetings. I am in the most intense part of the awakening process that is possible. First, I circumcised myself. Ended up at the ER. Next, I shot my penis 4 times with a revolver and consumed it after cooking it slightly on a frying pan. Bro, I'm getting scared, bro. I've never recorded one of these this late. It's 12:17, bro. I'm damn near home alone in this bitch. What the fuck? I called an ambulance on myself after freaking out and ended up at the ER. During that process, I blew apart my left testicle and they removed it since it was beyond repair. Finally, after many months of agonizing depression, I got the courage to sever my remaining testicle. Ended up at the ER again. All I have done is follow God's will. How is this God's plan? God's plan. How? Hey, bro. God better never tell me to do no shit like this. I'm gonna stare him in his face. That my guy say no, because what is this about? All I have done is follow God's will to crucify myself, but I always seem to fail. I cannot for the love of God make it past the obstacles given to me. Now God has come through my intuition calling me to sever more of my penis. When I look at what's left, it's about 1 centimeter worth of skin bulging out with an empty scrotum attached, and it's baffling that I am supposed to sever more of it. At this point, I'm basically carving a hole into my body. Bro, he literally shot it off and ate it. Like, what y'all think it tastes like, though?
What?
I'm curious. Please, I am in the darkest times of my life as Earth nears the end times war, and I have no idea what to do or where to turn. I'm so afraid of the pain and blood of doing this all over again. Thinking once would be enough. Love and regards, Worthless319. And then he literally offers to send people pictures, which is just so wild, bro. So there's a couple things he mentions in this post and a couple other, and that's that he's doing this out of the love and trust of God, reassuring people that he hasn't been hearing voices, or he's not on drugs and going through a bad trip. He's not schizophrenic or anything, but simply his spiritual experiences are carrying him down this path. And obviously you got a ton of people like hella worried about him, and he kind of just blows it off like, nah, can't control these urges, sorry bro, I've already made up my mind, and stuff like that. I mean, you can see some of the posts here. He's talking about like planning to remove the rest of his penis, and still going on about the only way to end suffering is to suffer. Basically, he thinks he's been chosen as this vessel to like take all the suffering upon himself so the world doesn't suffer. And he talked about how he planned to die and has started to fast and doesn't plan on eating again. So now it's getting even more concerning, because it's turned out from like, oh yeah, I'm suicidal and I've done these things, to like, no, I'm actively gonna kill myself. This guy is absolutely deranged, and he seriously needs help. Like, this is the pinnacle of mental illness. I thought yay video games was bad. Bro, this guy's lost it. He comments under the same post, after 3 genital mutilations, it gets quite old and wears out its welcome. How am I supposed to bring myself around to cutting the little stump of my remaining dick off? It's outrageous, and I have no willpower left. No desire to crucify my ego anymore that I once had when I was filled with love. God has toyed with me day in and day out, and I don't believe I was ready for these trials presented to me. So I'm gonna opt out and choose to disappear forever. Now, of course, there was a few posts in between that, but you can see this has turned from a love of God and kind of being a martyr to God has betrayed him and I cannot do the things that he's tasking me to do. He also describes this mutilation as draining. I mean, it's very clear that this isn't some masochist and that he doesn't actually enjoy the things that he's doing to himself. And he proceeds with, in the end, it boils down to me removing the remainder of my dick. How do I go about doing it if I fear the pain? I don't even know why God... Look at this motherfucker. Boom, bitch. Nah, chill. I'm getting too scared, bro. It's too late, y'all. If there's some weird shit when I'm editing this in the background, chill, yo. Chill, bro. He goes on to describe how he's gonna do it, talking about... What? How the gun was pretty quick and he didn't even have time to think, but now he's planning to do it with a scalpel because there's such little left. I knew as soon as I incised my penis, I would be immediately turned off, and I likely won't be able to push through cutting the whole slice off, giving me time in the ER and psych ward again. My dream self is quite the situation. Now, there's layers to this, you know.
Oh, but why is he doing this?
Oh, because God told him to.
Oh, but why did God tell him to?
Remember that North Korea thing? He's trying to prevent nuclear war by cutting his dick off. Brother. Like, what is the correlation, bro? Y'all think that if he didn't do this shit, we really would have had a war? Like, how is that the solution? I don't get it. I really don't, bro. Well, if I didn't obsess with cutting off the rest of my penis and eventually doing it, nuclear war. So it's relatively an important obsession. That's why I'm considering starving myself to death so I can die eternally but not have to see any war. My inability to obey God properly so many times has put thousands of people in shelters in Texas. It's where I visited last month. Synchronicity at its finest. So this guy thinks that his penis is lit. Yo, his ego is crazy. I wish I thought that my dick was like the cause of motherfuckers being in shelters and shit. I wish I thought I had some divine dick, bro. Some divine dick. So once again in the post, he literally talks about how he has 1 centimeter of penis left, bro. This much. Damn, that's double my shit. And he offers pictures for proof. Now, I already did the cum box. Y'all saw the cum box. I'm not gonna offer you these pictures. I'm gonna find them myself, and let's see how bad. Let's see if he's capping or not. Because he did put links, but they're taken down. But come on, bro. I could find that shit. Oh my... No, he's not even joking. Oh my... Yo. What the fuck? Ew! Nah. Okay, so apparently there was a picture floating around of the actual, like, bloody, all that. I did not find that. I don't want to. I'm looking at the stump. If this is really him, he's not lying, bro. It's like a... I don't even know how to describe it. You know what? Let's move on, bro. Do not go find those pictures. I do not condone finding those pictures. If you find those pictures, don't blame me. It's hard when all I've done is fail. Every mutilation makes me feel like I take 10 steps backwards. It's degrading, humiliating. My genitals look like some absurd cosmic vomit at this point. It's hard to press on. I don't think I can slowly stick a knife through the base of my penis. Shooting it off was nice and quick, but I'm shit out of luck this time around. There's even a post that he talks about where, like, now he has to sit backwards on the toilet because it'll spray out and make a mess. But, like, why are you doing this? Commanded to by my higher self to avoid nuclear war with North Korea and institute the second coming of Earth. What? Here he goes into a little bit of detail. By the way, I'm leaving out so many posts. He has a plethora of comments just talking about stuff that I don't know about in the Bible and that God and the spiritual leaders and Buddha and all this stuff that I don't know about. I'm just giving y'all the TLDR real quick. So he talks about how he sauteed it on the stove while bleeding out, then consumed it in 2 halves. And that wasn't even enough for his God. And not only that, he comes back in another post, if it couldn't get any crazier. I sauteed it. No seasoning. My friend ate my castrated testicle. Yo. My friend hits me up and he's like, bro, I need you to eat my nut. Wait, pause! My friend hits me up and he's like, bro, I need you to do this for me. I say, yo, what's up, my man? Come on, bro. You know I got you any favor. I need you to eat my testicle. Block. What the fuck? How do you get someone to agree to this, bro? I can't even fathom it. So later on, he starts to go into this little tangent of actually attempting now on Saturday. He just says Saturday, and this is kind of the date he gives it himself and where people like legitimately start manhunting for him, trying to find him to stop him from doing this. I will be attempting on Saturday, but I'm afraid I might survive. I survived my castration after bleeding for 18 hours and finally seeking medical attention because I wasn't dying. I wouldn't even believe this shit, but can't leeches make you bleed for like 24 hours? Ain't that a thing? 18 hours of bleeding? And how do you explain that to the hospital? How? I can't even fathom this. It's like, it's so absurd that it's almost past disturbing. It's like not real. Like you can't even really comprehend how deranged this really is. To do this, you know, he's talking about his struggle and how much he's been hurting and how much he hates the pain and the mutilation. So he starts to ask around for drugs to depersonalize himself or anesthesia to lessen the pain or inspire him to go through with it. Saturday eventually comes around and people are like, hey, where is this guy at? Is he still alive? And that's when we get his final post on Saturday, October 7th, 2017. Now, unfortunately, the original post has been deleted, but I found it. You know, people were like, looks like he's just living life with his German Shepherd. Hopefully he didn't go through with it. As we can see, he actually posted a picture of his German Shepherd on the same day, titled, Good Girl Loves to Bask in the Sun with a Fancy Paw. And this is just so sad, man. I mean, this is legitimately heartbreaking. It's an old pic I'm reminiscing upon as I'm stuck on a bus for 2+ days to get my revolver. Edit, I'm halfway across the country because I found someone that would murder me by cutting off my dick, but they would have mutilated my corpse unwillingly and eating me, so I opted out. And that's where the story ends. Now, whether he died, whether this was a troll, whether he actually got help and just abandoned the account, there's literally no end to the story. People couldn't find him. As I know, people actually claimed to be in contact with him at one point, but that none of that was actually confirmed true. So, this is where we have. Y'all think he did it? I don't know, man. It's a scary, scary case of how mental illness can just devolve and devolve and devolve, and there's really no changing his mind. I mean, I have no doubt that no matter what help people offered or no matter what people told him online, there was nothing that could have made him change his mind, and that this was kind of inevitable as his ending. So, genuinely super sad, but absolutely insane, bro. Which leads us to our next point on the iceberg, just titled Eric and Annie. Y'all, this one is just like dead ass depressing, bro. This shit bummed me out a little bit. I gotta say, it's not a gross one, or even, I guess it's disturbing in a different sense, but let's talk about it. Oh, Eric and Annie, otherwise known as u/Eric R and u/another little piece. Now, I'm not even going to bring up dates for this shit because who cares? Also, I do want to say that I did not do all the research for this shit at all. Not even close, actually. Debunk File on YouTube has a way better video on the topic if you're actually interested in this one. I am not going over this whole thing because I would legitimately be reading over 100,000 posts and replies, and I'm not doing that, no. So go look at this video when an internet relationship goes wrong if you care about this shit at all. But I'll give you the TLDR as I always do. I know, what am I, like ChatGPT? This starts off around 10 years ago on r/r for r, which is just Redditor for Redditor. Basically, just Redditors trying to connect with the community. Imagine it's just like a friends Reddit. Eric R post 44 M4R, Sonoma County or SF Bay Area. Dinner on Friday, 6/28. I'll treat one or two other people. Essentially, he's saying like, hey, I have a little bit of extra money. My wife and I used to eat out, but after 15 years, we split up. And is anybody down to go get some pizza? You know, he's just trying to gather a little bit of people. And that is when we get our first interaction with u/another little piece, otherwise later known as Annie, where she basically says, hey, that's a great offer, this is super nice, I would love to go, but I'm just not close enough. After that, she basically says, you know, you seem like someone that I would probably get along with. I want to interact with people a little bit more than just one comment on a random Reddit post, and it would be nice to have some and it would be nice to have some online friends, platonically and not in private message. She specifies that she is a strictly platonic relationship and not in private messages, which already, like, bro, you know, because she doesn't want her partner to find out, which is cheating. It's cheating. I don't care. It's cheating. It's cheating, bro. Let me open my girlfriend's phone and she's in a random Reddit thread talking to this man with, I mean, look at how many replies some of this shit has. 24.1K and it's all them? Are you serious? Crazy work. So they talk in that specific thread for a while, but if you didn't know, apparently Reddit just shuts shit down after a while, after like someone becomes old. I believe the time period is like 6 months, and Eric offers the idea of using branches, which is just making a post and commenting and commenting and commenting and just commenting back and forth. It is a way to circumvent the private message, and whenever they get archived, they just make another branch. So this is the first branch they make. Oh shit, that scared the fuck out of me. So this is the first branch they make. Chat channel for Annie. Want to try this sub for a while? This might fit the requirements. It seems that none of the rules could sick a bot on us. Worth a try if you'd like to. And as you can see, 24.1 thousand comments. Oh my god! Bro, imagine you were dating someone and they are chatting thousands of times back to another man. Bro, you're done. You're done. Well, I'm sure y'all can see why I'm not going through all this. No. Especially now that a lot of it's just deleted. But as you look through the messages, you can tell that the relationship's shifting from the originally planned platonic level, and that's when they make the second branch. New chat channel for Annie and Eric. Old one was archived. Annie, I can only guess that the thread itself has slid too far off the bottom of the page. I just got That's a piece of history now. It's too late to reply to it. This is my attempt at making a new thread for our branch. Is it okay? And I mean, bruh, if you look at some of these replies, if my girl is texting like this, oh my god. Bro, this shit hurts, bro. Like, even thinking about it. Lightbringer. Well, I don't seem to be able to go back to sleep, so I might as well respond more now. I think that I've spent every moment that I've been awake since seeing your 1-year message, wiping happy tears from my eyes and cheeks. I don't know why, but your message is releasing something huge in me. Bro, if I catch Eric R talking to my girl like this, he's about to release something else huge in her at this stage. Are you serious? Maker of joy. They're calling each other Lightbringer and Maker of joy. Wow. What you can say, what you can give, and the happiness it can cause in me. I'd have no idea there would be a chance for you to send such an abundance of your wonderfulness like that. And I mean, this goes on for paragraphs, y'all. They like to yap. And it is like these long ass, big ass chunks. Y'all will see later. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at how Eric is literally serenading her, bruh. He is the Romeo to her Juliet at this rate. And keep in mind, bro, it's been over a year since the pizza post, which was the first post I showed. They have just been talking. Of course, there's gonna catch feelings, yo. So, Eric and Annie's branch, Mark 3. So here's our next new home on Reddit. Maybe another 10,000 messages or more will fit in here. This is the branch where Annie actually becomes single. Look at this. They're staring at the screen fondly and shit. I mean, this is ridiculous. Which I'm thinking at this rate, y'all. You know what? I'll save the theory for later. Now, while Annie becomes single, he, in passing, mentions getting with 2 people while still maintaining this friendship with Annie. Which I'm kind of like, why would you even do that? Like, I mean, how are you going to manage all these damn women, yo? Like, look, you commit to one, okay? It's disrespectful to both parties at this point. If you leading Annie on like this and you got a whole girl you fucking in real life, this is horrible. Eventually that thread gets archived, and look at this one. This is our final branch. I know it went fast. Wow. A new branch for Annie when she's back. Wow, what timing, eh? 20.7 thousand comments. And no, a lot of them are not even between the two, and we'll see why. Now, at first, things were actually great. They're maintaining their flirty little attitudes. They're got all these little inside jokes and caveats, and they literally typed the same at this point. It's crazy. They're morphing into one person. Until eventually, Annie blindsides Eric and tells him that she's not able to do this anymore. Completely unwarranted and unexpected, she posts this long message, and I'll only read a little bit of it. I'm supremely glad that you had and are having and will have this experience. I celebrate this for you unreservedly. For me, I just don't think I can go along, or whatever is the right word. I know how very much she matters to you and all that you feel for her. I struggle with feeling myself, all the difficult feelings you feel about this not working out the way you wanted and hoped and would love to have experienced. I have been so physically sick this year for the first time ever, and I just don't know what more it could take from me to do this again. I don't know that I'm strong enough. I can keep talking to you tonight. This isn't my last message tonight, but I just can't. At this rate, Eric is like just throwing up offers to try to fix it. I mean, like, dude, he's grown incredibly close to this girl over the span of how many years? At this rate, I'm pretty sure it would have been around or a little bit more than 2 years that they've been talking to each other. So, you know, he doesn't want to lose his friend and partner that he's basically spent the last couple of years just berating with messages every day. And she says that she's jealous of hearing about the other women that Eric's with. He offers to not talk about them, but she wants a completely transparent relationship, which you can't have a transparent relationship and have him talk about women at the same time and then not get upset. It just doesn't mix well. Our branch has been immensely good for me. You have been endlessly good to and for me. I wish I could be that same good back to you and just unconditionally accept that you need to talk about other women. But what will that be like? I can just say that I didn't sleep well and didn't eat because I know you won't have a happy day on the days that I'm saying that. And I'm not gonna lie and say I did sleep well and I did eat something. I can't wait for a second life where we meet first and are all for each other. That will be my past the universe's joy. That shit is just depressing. And this is what I was going to bring up earlier. Why did they not just move together? It's clear they both love each other, bro. I mean, they are closer than I can guarantee you any of the relationships that they were going through at the time that they were talking. Just move in together, because it's not like she was way too far. Like, she was just a little bit too far to make it for the pizza. Y'all could make some shit work. And her last message ever: I turn away from here. All my everything I can send. First, last, and everything. So that's literally the last they ever speak, but that's not the last that Eric talks in these branches. He returns to these branches and keeps talking about memories and things that have reminded him of her. Now, eventually it's slow. He'll return like, oh, the next 4 days and then 3 weeks. But eventually it becomes a daily thing. And it only gets more and more depressing. Another night that I am missing your virtual presence. Life is thin and lacking color without art chats and all we shared for so brief a time. Most nights are like this. So many of them since the one you had to stop, and so many seem to lay before me. Some nights it seems too much. Sometimes I don't have the hopes of the second life we thought of. Sometimes I don't feel as okay as I did. I miss you. I miss the words you used to share. I miss our time together. I take you with me everywhere. Carrot, I write to you, even in moments that I'm not composing a coherent message. So often I'm just taking in the moment in ways that I'd like to relate to you. And it just gets sadder and sadder. I mean, he's just still commenting with... I don't even know if he's hoping for a response. I mean, her account literally was inactive. It's not like she was ghosting him. No, the account just stopped. He comes back for the anniversary that they met on. It was today. 3 years ago today. On that day, you said hello to me for the first time. That moment, that choice, changed my life. I don't think anything can ever come close. It's been 3 years since that day, and you will always be by my side, even as I shed tears for the lacking of your words in what remains of this life. Eric then makes a final branch despite them not talking for over 3 years. 3 years. Insane. His last message in that branch ever reads, hello, my best. Couple hours left of pizza post day. My time to write messages in your direction is coming to an end. That's pretty hard to face, but I've needed to face it for more than 2 years, eh? I'm on the Klamath Falls trip again. Just like I was at one point during your being on the opportunity trip off the continent. I wrote to you every day during that one. This trip ends the day this branch thread turns 6 months and is locked. Maybe I'll just write on each of these final days. The prospect of not even having the stupid outlet for missing our days on the branch isn't very easy to face. That's a bit of a dust statement, isn't it? Were it easy then, I would have never written once after you turned away. Oh well, this life has been a bit of a mess. No reason to think anything would work out okay. I mean, this just reads as a suicide note, and like, this is when you get a bunch of people speculating, like, if he's alive or not, because this is the last message that he writes for years. And a lot of people just assume that he committed and couldn't deal with the pain. But he comes back 2 years later randomly on a random Ask Reddit post asking, without revealing too much about yourself, how did you come up with your username? Saying, someone put the long version on my birth certificate. I like being the real me online for all my things when I created the account. So that at least confirms that he's alive. It kills the theories that he committed suicide, or some people were thinking that this was like one person that was just creating these two personalities. I don't really believe that. So that's really it. Very, very depressing, if you ask me. Maybe it's just because I'm done. Damn, don't call yourself a serial e-dater, man. It was one time. But damn, Eric, like, come on, Manuk. That shit hurts, Brian. Why would she leave him like that? I really don't understand why they didn't just move in together, bro. I mean, maybe it's in one of those multiple thousand branches, but I ain't reading all that, bro. So basically, two people fell in love with each other, and then Annie lost it and stopped talking to him, and it was very sad. Okay, next. Quiet pills? Okay, next on the iceberg. Quiet pills. Bitch, am I sideways or am I bugging? Like, here we go. Yeah, daddy. Bro, so this one is actually kind of crazy. And it's not disgusting. There's nobody. I'm clapping alone in my room at 12:28 a.m. on a Wednesday night. This is... I want to say, shout out to Nexpo for covering this way more in depth. You know I'm only giving you the TLDR, but there's a lot more to this case than I'm going to present. And shout out to Barely Sociable, who had a video on this that I used for a lot of the research. If you care about this topic, go check them out more. I'm giving you the very limited TLDR of the whole thing. So this shit all starts with this Reddit account right here, u/religion of peace. Now, there's a few notable things about this account. One is that it was a moderator of jailbait. I gotcha. Huh? Jump scare, pedophilia. Jesus, man. So if you don't know what jailbait is, it was literally a Reddit that just shared suggestive and revealing pictures of minors. Yeah. But his account is more deep than that, even, well, Jesus. I don't know, it's weird to skip over that so quickly. But the first post we should highlight is this one right here, to the world from Reddit. This post is basically just honoring the 65th anniversary of D-Day, in which Religion of Peace claims to have served at. And I mean, I don't know about you, but when I think of D-Day, that was fucking long ago. Hey Google, when was D-Day?
June 6, 1944.
1944. And he claims to have been there. Now keep in mind that this shit was actually pretty old. Like, these posts are from 16 years ago. So Reddit was kind of just starting up. And then you start to think, okay, a new website, which is probably mostly occupied by younger people, and someone that's been in D-Day is super active on there. Well, his comment under this post, which was on June 6, 2009, talks about him being 79, which would mean he's 14 during D-Day? I mean, I guess it's not unusual for minors to serve, but that's a bit ridiculous. However, a year prior, in an Ask Reddit post asking how old are you, he says he's 70 in July. So are you 79 or are you 70? Because a lot of the posts say 79, but this one just says 70, so he's just lying. He's just lying. Now in this post on Ask Reddit again, titled, "If you died now, would you consider your life to be well lived?" Now in this post, he once again confirms he's 79 and talks about serving in the military from 1944 until 1987, which, hey Google, what's 87 minus 44? I know I'm in college, okay? I could use a little bit of help.
Is 43.
Which is 43 years of service? I mean, Jesus Christ. But he also talks about in this post that he couldn't retire, and you're eligible to retire after like 20 years of service. So then he says that he got a job in a computer-related technical field, which is easier on his body. So he's lying about his age. Nobody really knows. He's probably lying about being at D-Day, but his entire account is dedicated to like military stuff, and it's not like he's just bullshitting completely. Like, what he's saying has some merit to it. So he probably did serve in the military, but it's hard to tell what's truthful and what's not. I mean, most of his posts are just centered around the military, guns, serving, and violence in general, and he really was a violent guy. Look at this. Fucking old-ass cranky old man, I'll get you. Now, in addition to this jailbait moderation, he was always talking about perving on younger girls and how he loved to window shop, but never indulged or went to touch any of them, at least. And that leads into this. Now, I know it's called the quiet pills. Wait, we're gonna get there. This guy made his own image host, similar to Imgur or like, I don't know, Pinterest, just a page where you can post pictures. And on Reddit, I mean, he would constantly promote his page under comments and stuff like that. Now, this is where it really gets interesting. Of course, this was just 4 pictures, and you can really post anything, but what did people post? Porn. And probably underage as well, because you know this guy's a freak. And as we can see at this title page, that old guy's image host, I mean, it looks pretty standard. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Now, what's special about this guy's image host, by the way, is that when you go to it, the link is lakecityquietpills.com. It has nothing to do with an image host. Nobody really paid any mind to it, but it's worth asking, why for an image host would you choose lakecityquietpills.com? But just keep this in mind, because it will be referenced later. This post right here is actually his last message ever, 16 years ago. Just him complaining about bullshit and spamming and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, hey old man, relax. Until a little bit after this post, user 26 posted, "The end of Religion of Peace. He died today." I'm the person who provided Religion of Peace the space for that old guy's image host. Milo died today. He was 79 years old. He died at his desk looking at your site. Milo was a mean old fucker. Mean and ornery. He hooked me up with my first gig when I got out of the army. I didn't like finding him like that. Milo don't have any living relatives and no real friends, and other than his landlady and a few people where he worked, he didn't talk to anyone about much of anything. Me, he just tolerated. As I said, he was mean. I think he used that as a shield to keep people away from him. Milo thought God was some kind of con game thought up by some lazy sons of bitches who didn't want to work every day. So he's going into the fire on Monday without a service just like he wanted. I'm planning to dump his ashes in the woods in PA near where he was born. Can't put them right there because there's a mall there now. I gave the girl next door his raggedy old cat and most of his books. His computers and tronic shit he tagged for the disabled vets in VVA. All the rest of the stuff is for the Salvation Army. All those years and everything he owned fits in the trunk of my car. I don't know what else to say. I'll miss him. Miserable bastard. So on July 17th, 2009, this post gets made and got a decent amount of traffic for the time being. I mean, you gotta remember that a decent amount of traffic in this time when Reddit was just coming up is not that much. It got like 600 upvotes. But more eyes on it, and that's what's important, because with more eyes came more digging into who this guy really was. And when they started digging, they found an account on a website called FARC named Angel26. Now FARC is just a website created by Drew Curtis. Who the hell is Drew Curtis? And they can just comment on a bunch of news articles and items from other websites, I guess. But look at this profile. So all this stuff had been happening around 2004, but this profile was made in 2001. And when we look at the bio, dispensing Lake City quiet pills to lousy bastards in need of permanent rest since 1968. Once again, mentioning Lake City quiet pills. Connected to this account is an email, angel26@lakecityquietpills.com. What the hell? Now, when you look at the comment history of this profile, it talks a lot like how Milo did, using the same incorrect spelling of certain words, as well as discussing being in the military and guns, and it seems that this user has served as well. So what exactly is this Lake City Quiet Pills thing? Has nothing to do with the image hosting site, has nothing to do with the military, and nobody's even mentioning it really. That wasn't until Redditors started looking at the source code of LakeCityQuietPills.com, otherwise known as the image host, where they were finding all these messages that were dated and showing what was really happening behind the scenes. There seemed to be some sort of job contracting done and hidden away in the source code, but these jobs read like hitman jobs or some sort of military contracting. And the same day that Milo died, an anonymous user posted this to the source code. 17 July 2009. I'm sorry to tell you that old Milo died yesterday. He went quiet and calm, not like we all figured. I gave that fat mangy cat of his to the little girl next. No services or nothing. You know Milo. I'm taking his ashes back to where his farm was. Close to it anyway. There's a mall where his place was. So hoist a few for the old man. Remember what he said. Keep the faith with the man who's got your back. I mean, look at some of these job postings, dude. 4 for 24/7 DP. Double penetration, what the fuck? 2-week gig, fluent English, 2-week sequester. 4 Italian Spanish speakers, no Euro, WW, must be bondable. 5 fluent Portuguese, no Euro, WW, 6-month private gig. And then at the bottom, Shane is maintaining the calendar and access to the file dump. Angel has the job postings for EU and Asia. We aren't sending anyone to ME. No one. Don't ask for listings. So now we get a name of Shade and these weird job listings. And what's notable about these is the WW, which could either mean wet work or wants and warrants. Now, wet work is a euphemism for murder or assassination. What the fuck? and warrants/warrants meaning they can't have a wanted, arrest, or anything for them in a certain country. So definitely some sketchy-ish work. 2 months later, after his death gets posted, this gets posted on September 30th, 2009. For those who have asked, I bricked Milo's iron key the same day. All is well. Now, if you don't know, an iron key is just an encrypted flash drive, and bricking it just means doing something that makes it completely unfunctional, so all the info on it is essentially gone. If this alone hasn't made it clear that some sketchy ass shit is going on, I do not know what will. 2 months later, on November 14th, 2009, Milo's will cleared probate. Surprise, Milo was loaded. Email Shade if we sent you out in 2005 to 2009. Shade will have 2 checks cut for you. Amount is by how many times, not by pay total. Small share is 3 to 4K. Now once again, Shade is mentioned handling the money for this situation. And somehow these guys got access to Milo's will. I guess maybe he had nobody else to leave it to. But this also gives you kind of a scope of the situation. Look at this. 4 years this spans out and a bunch of people have access to some money? What the hell? 2 months later again. January 12th, 2010. Happy New Year, everyone. We're having a birthday party for the old man on the 19th. Party starts at 1500 at the usual. Send your RSVP to Shade. FYI, we're booking a room for 3 days for anyone coming from out of the area and overnight for locals. Come hoist one for Dutch Milo. Okay. Seems like they're having a party for him. A little bit late. He died 6 months ago. And once again, Shade's handling it. I don't know who the fuck Shade is, but he's the boss of this bitch, apparently. And I want to mention that at this time, this wasn't really getting a lot of attention. This back end of the source code of the website. That's why they are still just openly doing it, because people really didn't know or didn't really care. And then 6 days later, on January 18th, 2010, this gets posted. We got 38 rooms in the Marriott on 46th. Shade has the key cards for locals. Pick up at the party. Give your travel name to the desk and that's it. No ID needed since we're covering the bill. Keep the room service under 500, okay? The phones there are not secure. Bus from the hotel leaves at 13:30. Car service vouchers for return trip when you are ready to crash. Don't DUI. So right before the party, this gets sent out and it becomes clear that they probably ain't celebrating shit for Milo. I mean, why would you... I mean, if I'm showing up to a party, why the fuck would you need to make sure the phones are secure if it's just a leisure party? That doesn't make sense. It also mentions Shade again, who is... Oh my god, like, I'm tired of hearing his ass, I'm not gonna lie. Now, I've been saying the dates because these are very important. This was the day before the party on January 18th, and on January 19th, 2010, Mahmoud al-Mambu, who was the chief of logistics and weapons procurement for Hamas military wing, was traveling alone under a fake alias. A group of around 24 men and women had also shown up in Dubai under fake aliases, but essentially what happened is they tracked Mahmoud to his room, booked the room across from his, waited for him to go shopping, and as he left, they went in his room and waited for Mahmoud. When he got back to his room, he was injected with a paralytic muscle relaxant and was killed by suffocation. Now, wait. So we have this party right before, and all the details are lining up. The times, the everything is lining up. And then this Hamas military weapons procurement and logistics guy gets fucking assassinated in the hotel. You fucking kidding me? Holy shit. Either a crazy coincidence or a planned assassination. Initially, they actually thought this was just a normal death, but after looking more into it and looking at some of the suspects, we can see that some of them were given credit cards from Storm Lake, Iowa. Now, look at this map. Storm Lake, Iowa is only about an hour drive from Lake City. It is literally like a few towns away, bruh. So, let's get to it. What does this have to do with quiet pills? I've asked you guys like 40 fucking times, like I'm not the one informing you guys. Well, the pills aren't really pills. When you look into it, considering Milo's backstory and all this shit going on, Lake City famously has an army ammunition plant where they export billions of bullets. Quiet pills are bullets. And that makes a lot more sense putting this bio into context when you look back. Dispensing Lake City quiet pills to lousy bastards in need of permanent rest since 1968. These motherfuckers are killers. Yo! Now when he gets assassinated, this kind of blows up, and you got a lot more people looking into the back end of this site now. And we actually get another update on February 2nd, 2010. Party bills. Here's the final for the party. Hotel rooms, $48,000, limo, $6,000, bus, bar, food, dancers, miscellaneous tips, med supplies. Fat Tommy and Stu are okay too. And the total is $94,080. You all did Dutch Mila proud. Thanks. Hey motherfucker, I don't know what party y'all be going to, but mine are not $94,000. Are we sure this is a party? Yeah, right. This is as much a party as my dick is a Ford F-150. So, I mean, at this point, what the fuck's going on? We've got a lot of money involved. We got a lot of security involved. They're trying to keep this under wraps. Got a lot of motherfuckers involved. It ain't just Shade at this point. We got Tommy and Stu, okay? They need to be okay, and they are okay. And most importantly, we got a lot of people looking into this. So, because so many eyes were on it, and Reddit was kind of going crazy trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, the source code messages were then encrypted. As people cracked these codes, they would encrypt them again, and to date, this code on screen has never been cracked. After encrypting it with this, they abandoned the website altogether and seemingly disappeared. Now, like I said, I got a lot of my info from Barely Sociable's video on this, and if you want a really in-depth, hour-long debrief of this situation with more and more details that I'm not going to provide, go watch Nexpo's video on it. This video right here, bruh. It goes into all the nerdy PC stuff and deeper dives and eventually shit like this that's related. Now, some people think this is a hoax or an ARG, but the fact that the Fark account goes back to 2001 and a lot of the stuff in Nexpo's video is literally only findable with the Wayback Machine, like nobody knew about this stuff. I just do not believe this at all. It's also not entirely clear if the assassination is directly tied to this group. I would bargain to say it's 50-50. Apparently there's some details that show that the assassination was actually planned way before all of this stuff happened, and that they made frequent trips to Dubai to basically just plan it out. I'm not really sure. Another popular theory is that this guy was just trying to cover up for his pedophilic past and divert all the attention away from him being a fucking moderator of Jailbait. Because Jailbait actually got a lot of attention, and it was on the news and everything. So, honestly, I could probably subscribe to this belief, but let me know what y'all think. This one is still unsolved as far as I'm concerned. There was a post where Milo actually came back 2 years ago, but it looks like he's been hacked, and the post is just fucking jargon. It doesn't really make any sense. Also, why the hell would Milo, a 79-year-old man, how the fuck would he know about computer programming and be so active on Reddit? It's just not Milo. You know, something's weird. To wrap it up, that's our second to last story. We got one more on tier 2 of the disturbing Reddit post iceberg, titled Swamps of Dagobah. This is so fucking disgusting. Of course this tier would end with some bullshit like this. This one comes from an Ask Reddit thread from Squeeples. Doctors, nurses, Redditors, what has been your most gory, disgusting, or worst medical experience? I'm letting y'all know now, this is a long one, and I'm gonna read it. So sit your fat ass down and grab a Pop-Tart, popcorn, crackers, chips, greens, okay? Under this post, Bonsai Panda 13 years ago writes, OR nurse here. This is kind of a long one. Hey, I just said that, you dick. I was taking a call one night and woke up at 2 in the morning for a general surgery call. Pretty vague, but at the time I lived in a town that had large populations of young military guys and avid meth users, so late night emergencies were common. It's like, where are you, Gotham? Go to the hospital, where a few more details awaited me. Pararectal abscess. For those uninitiated, this means that somewhere in the immediate vicinity of the asshole, there was a pocket of pus that needed draining. Needless to say, our entire crew was less than thrilled. Are you seeing where this is going? I went down to the emergency room to transport the patient, and the only thing the ER nurse said as she handed me the chart was, "Have fun with this one." Amongst healthcare professionals, vague statements like this are a bad sign. My patient was a 314-pound Native American woman who barely fit on the stretcher I was transporting her on. She was rolling frantically side to side and moaning in pain, pulling at her clothes and muttering Hail Marys. I could barely get her name out of her after just a few minutes of questioning, so I confirmed her identity and what we were working on. I figured it was best just to get her to the anesthesiologist so we could knock her out and get this circus started. She continued her theatrics the entire 10-minute ride to the OR. What is the OR? Oh, operating room. 10 minutes? What the fuck hospital is this? She continued her theatrics the entire 10-minute ride to the OR, nearly falling off the surgical table as we were trying to put her under anesthesia. We see patients like this a lot, though. Chronic drug abusers who don't handle pain well and who have used so many drugs that even increased levels of pain medication don't touch simply because of high tolerance levels. It should be noted, tonight's surgical team was not exactly wet behind the ears. What? That's not a saying. It is a saying. Okay, so they weren't lacking experience or immature. I'd been working in healthcare for several years already, mostly psych and medical settings. I've watched an 88-year-old man tear a 1-inch diameter catheter balloon out of his penis while screaming, "You'll never make me talk." Fucking Hannibal Lecter. I've been attacked by an HIV-positive neo-Nazi. I've seen some shit. The other nurse had been in the OR as trauma specialist for over 10 years. The anesthesiologist had done residency at Level 1 Trauma Center, or as we called them, knife and gun clubs. The surgeon was ex-army and averaged about 8 words and 2 facial expressions a week. None of us expected what was about to happen next. Oh, brother. We got the lady off to sleep, put her in the stirrups, and I began washing off the rectal area. It was red and inflamed. A little bit of pus was seeping through, but it was all pretty standard. Her chart had noted that she'd been injecting IV drugs throughout her perineum, so this was obviously an infection from dirty needles or bad drugs, but overall, it didn't seem to warrant her repeated cries of, "Oh Jesus, kill me now." You got an infected asshole that's leaking pus, and "Oh Jesus, kill me now" is not an acceptable response? Whatever, bro. The surgeon steps up with a scalpel, sinks just the tip in, pause, and at the exact same moment, the patient had a muscle twitch in her diaphragm, and just like that, all hell broke loose. Unbeknownst to us, the infection had actually tunneled nearly a foot into her abdomen, creating a vast cavern full of pus, rotten tissue, and fecal matter that had seeped outside her colon. This godforsaken mixture came rocketing out of that little incision like we were recreating the funeral scene from Jane Austen's Mafia. I don't know what this funeral scene is, so let me just look this up. Oh, bro, come on, man. It's disgusting. Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, the story itself is bad, but it's also the way that she tells the story makes it 10 times worse. We all wear waterproof gowns, face masks, gloves, hats, the works, all of which were as helpful as rain boots against a fire hose. The bed was in the middle of the room, an easy 7 feet from the nearest wall, but by the time we were done, I was still finding bits of rotten flesh painted against the back wall. As the surgeon continued to advance his blade, the torrent just continued. The patient kept seizing against the ventilator, not uncommon in surgery, and with every muscle contraction, she shot more of this brackish gray-brown fluid out onto the floor, until, within minutes, it was seeping into the other nurse's shoes. Bro, I'm not even like thinking about the fluid itself, bro. I am imagining the horrid smell that had to have been released. I mean, it had to have smelled like the lich, bro. And wetting into their shoes. God, bro, I'm such a germaphobe. Like, I would kill myself. I'd probably kill her and myself at this rate. I was nearly 12 feet away, jaw dropped open with my surgical mask, watching the second nurse dry heaving and the surgeon standing on tiptoes to keep his stuff from soaking into his socks any further. Bro, she is literally creating like a 4-inch just blast of gook and rot and disgusting pus and infection on the floor. This is horrible. The smell hit them first. Oh God, I just threw up in my mask. The other nurse was out. She tore off her mask and sprinted out the room, shoulders still heaving. Then it hit me, mouth still wide open, not able to believe the volume of fluid this woman's body contained. It was like getting a great big bite of despair and apathy that permeated this woman's life. I couldn't fucking breathe. My lungs simply refused to pull any more of that stuff in. The anesthesiologist went down next, an ex-NCAA D1 tailback, his 6'2" frame shaking as he threw open the door to the OR suite in an attempt to get more air in, letting me glimpse the second nurse still throwing up in the sinks outside the door. Another geyser of pus splashed across the front of the surgeon. The YouTube clip of David at the dentist keeps playing in my head. Is this real life? Fucking soldier. Absolute fucking soldier, bro. What could this even do to your self-esteem? I would never show my face anywhere. Ever. Now that story's being told and it's like infamous on Reddit. Oh my God, bro. This is horrible. Like, this is worse than... This, actually, gonorrhea mouth might be worse, but... This is the second most disgusting by far. I'd rather redo the cum box. In all operating rooms everywhere in the world, regardless of socialized or privatized, secular or religious, big or small, there's one thing the same. Somewhere, there's a bottle of peppermint concentrate. Everyone in the department knows where it is, everyone knows what it's for, and everyone prays to their gods they never have to use it. In times like this, we rub it in the inside of your mask to keep the outside smells at bay long enough to finish the procedure and shower off. I sprinted to our central supply, ripping open the drawer where this vial of ambrosia was kept, and was greeted by an empty fucking box. The bottle had been emptied and not replaced. Somewhere out there was a godless bastard who used the last of the peppermint oil and not replaced a single fucking drop of it. To this day, if I figure out who it was, I'll kill them with my bare hands, but not before cramming their head up the colon of every last meth user I can find, just so we're even. I darted back into the room with the next best thing I could find, a vial of mastisol, which is an adhesive rub we use sometimes for bandaging. It's not as good as peppermint, but considering that over 1/3 of the floor was now thoroughly coated in what could easily be mistaken for a combination of bovine afterbirth and maple syrup, we were out of options. My God, bro. Why do I kind of wish I was there, though? Like, this is a real bonding moment between the nurses and shit. And I want to see, how bad really was it? Because she could be exaggerating, but I don't know. I kind of want to, like, what does it smell like? I'm curious a little bit. I started rubbing as much of the mastisol as I could to get on the inside of my mask. Just glad to be smelling anything except whatever slimy demon spawn we just cut out of this woman. The anesthesiologist grabbed the vial next, dousing the front of his mask in it so we could stand next to his machines long enough to make sure this woman didn't die on the table. It wasn't until later that we realized that mastisol can give you a mild high from huffing it like this. But in retrospect, that's probably what got us through. Bro, fuck mastisol high. You are already... This is basically Jenkum. This is the craziest strain of Jenkum that you can huff. I'm not even going to explain what Jenkum is. If you know, you know. I also just wonder, how did it get this bad? Like, why didn't she come in earlier? I mean, nearly a foot deep, there's just shit, pus, and rot. She's literally turning into Melania. Like, this wasn't a medical emergency before today. It just popped up now. Are you serious? By this time, the smell had permeated out of our OR suite and down the 40-foot hallway to the front desk where the other nurse still sat, eyes bloodshot and watery, clenching our stomach desperately. Our suite looked like the underground river of ooze from Ghostbusters 2, except dirty. Oh, so dirty. What? This fucking pop culture references, I don't know these things. Oh, bro. Jesus Christ. I stepped back into the OR suite, not wanting to leave the surgeon by himself in case he genuinely needed help. It was like one of those overly artistic representations of a zombie apocalypse you see on fan forums. Here's this one guy, in blue surgical garb, standing nearly ankle deep in lumps of dead tissue, fecal matter, and several liters of syrupy infection. He was performing surgery in the swamps of Dagobah. except the swamps had just come out of this woman's ass and there was no Yoda. He and I didn't say a word for the next 10 minutes as he scraped the inside of the abscess until all the dead tissue was out. The front of his gown a gruesome mixture of brown and red. His eyes squinted against the stinging vapors originating directly in front of him. I finished my required paperwork as quickly as I could, helped him stuff the recently vacated opening full of gauze, taped this woman's buttocks closed to hold the dressing for as long as possible, woke her up, and immediately shipped her off to the recovery ward. You know what I'm thinking in this instant, bro? Imagine she didn't go to the doctor. Imagine she found herself a man. She starts to back that shit up. Can you, bro, these are the back shots of nefarious peril. I mean, the way they're describing this is like that one YouTube video, Septic Tank 5, bro. This is horrible. No, the back shots are so crazy. Hey! Until then, I've only heard of alcohol showers. Turns out 70% isopropyl alcohol is about the only thing that can even touch a scent like that once it's soaked into your skin. It takes 4 or 5 bottles to get really clean, but it's worth it. It's probably the only scenario I can honestly endorse drinking a little of it too. As we left the locker room, the surgeon and I looked at each other, and he said the only negative sentence I heard him utter in 2.5 years of working together. That was bad. The next morning, the entire department, a fairly large floor within the hospital, still smelled. The housekeepers told me later that it took them nearly an hour to suction up all the fluid and debris left behind. Though our suite itself was closed off in quarantine for 2 more days just to let the smell finally clear out. I laugh now when I hear new recruits to healthcare talk about the worst thing they've seen. You ain't seen shit, kid. TLDR, don't shoot IV drugs into your taint. You want to know the worst part of this all? Bonsai Panda comes back later with an update about the patient. Apparently, she let this shit happen and didn't even fucking pay. Bro, I would personally find her and ransack her for any change she got. Them shoes on your feet, those are mine. Them clothes, that's mine. That needle, mine. All of it is mine. You are going to start a garage sale and sell every single bit of items you have. I don't care if you don't have that much. I don't care if you have no money. You're gonna do it. You're gonna get me my money because this is horrendous, bro. This story is just genuinely, yeah. You know, as I look a little bit forward on this iceberg, I think this is probably the tier dedicated to disgusting ass shit, and I think we are well past the worst of it, probably. Oh, Jesus, never mind. Tier 3, there's vagina bacon. What? Well, that's it. Play a little bit of tier 3. You know, people like my first video. These shits take a long time to make. So, if you watched it, fucking, I don't even be telling people to do this, but click the damn like. I deserve it. Okay? I spent hours on this. Looking at bullshit. If anybody makes it this far, let me know if you guys want more of this. Not sure why you would. You know. I mean, to me it's interesting, but it's only getting worse. And remember, there is several more tiers. We're not even halfway through the iceberg. There's 6 more tiers to get through. So if people still want this, I'll keep going. I don't know. Comment your favorite or something. I'm pretty distraught and disheveled. Thank you for watching. Just play the outro.
We watching every single stream, watching every single clip, so no one can make the green. Yeah. Lately, know it's so funny, and he finer than new Dennis. Yeah, he might just make me. In the chat, you know that we gon' follow. Mess with no one, we gon' fill you up with hot lows.